I had to start all over making beats again in 2025, here's exactly what I do. And no, this is not theory. I produced on numerous Billboard albums, one going platinum, and I produced for artists like Lil Durk, Rod Wave, Lil TJ, Young and Ace, K-Camp, Hot Boy, the list goes on. So the first thing I do is develop some type of clarity and direction, meaning deciding what type of music I want to make, what type of producers do I want to work with, and what type of artists do I want to work with. If I can narrow these things down, I get to clearly see my end goal and I have tunnel vision. And once I decide that sound that I'm going to go after, now it's time for obsession and repetition. So I'm going to learn how to make that sound and get better at it non-stop. I also want to put an extra emphasis on the loops and the melodies of that sound that I decide to go for. That way I can provide a lot of value to bigger producers in that subgenre down the line. So hypothetically, let's say I wanted to make Don Toliver type of beats. I wanted to work with Don Toliver's producers that work on his albums, and I wanted to work with him one day also. And through that, I'm aligning myself and putting myself in the best possible position to make connections with his producers and to work with them one day. So at that point, I would be pretty consistent with locking in on my craft, and at that point, it'll be time for me to start trying to put myself out there. So in order to do that, I would probably make 2 YouTube channels. One channel focused on me and my personal brand, a lot of videos of me cooking up on there and giving out free resources and sound kits and stuff to producers. And another YouTube channel focused on just posting beats for artists to purchase and just hear my sound. Think of it like 2 stores. One store where you could see the chef cooking, and the other store where you could actually buy the food. So in the meantime, while I nurture my craft and I nurture my YouTube channels, I wouldn't just wait for the channels to blow up. I would create some type of video that's super enticing to artists that would make them want to work with me, and I would create my own funnel and lead generation. That way I don't have to wait till my YouTube views to get amazing traction for me to still make meaningful connection with artists that want to purchase my beats. And I can make some income in the meantime that way. At that point, it's all about consistency and nurturing the ecosystem I created. By connecting with artists through that funnel, I'm building my email list up of artists that I can consistently send beats to weekly, just attaching the purchase links to those. And then on my main YouTube channel where I'm showing off me creating beats, I'm building an email list of producers that want to work with me. I do this by giving out free sounds or free presets in exchange for a follower or subscriber. That way I'm in their head, they see me when they open their door, and they're overall just getting more familiar with me and my sound. Around here is where I would start being a lot more strategic when it comes to who I'm reaching out to in terms of artists and producers. Now that I have some type of brand that I built, I'm more likely to give responses, so I have to be very, very precise. Making sure that I'm picking the right samples that I make to send to the right people, making sure I'm sending the right beats to the right artists that I can hear them. This is where your ear develops, and you have to be somewhat of an A&R for yourself. And lastly, I would make the shift between looking at myself as just a producer to a complete entrepreneur. Because all the things I said, it's a bunch of different ventures into one category of being a producer, but each of these ventures has an amazing upside. When you think about the 2 ventures of content creation and e-commerce and selling sound packs online, there's a few different hats that you have to wear, but if you're focused, you build systems, you can check off all of these boxes every single day, and it's all about building a formula that you can stick to. Do not overwork yourself because you are going to burn out. But if you can make a small to-do list every single day where you're working towards something, just something. It doesn't even have to be a crazy productive day. And I know it could be a little overwhelming hearing all of that, but think of everything I just said like the gym. Once you start working out and you're seeing your muscles get a little bigger and you're looking in the mirror and seeing stuff you didn't see before, that's when you want to keep going. That's when you want to keep locking in. So as soon as you start seeing a little progress with this stuff, it's going to be pretty easy to stay consistent. Overall, that's how I would start my career today if I started fresh. If you want more one-on-one support, there's going to be a link in the description. You can work one-on-one with me, and we'll lock in on your music, your brand, and your goals. Stay locked in and stay blessed.